happy 2018. We made it through the holidays. We are into January and into a brand new year. And I know a lot of people out there, myself included, are thinking up New Year's resolutions, goal setting for the year, creating new intentions that they want to step into. You know, it's kind of a fresh start for everyone, which is what I love about January and the new year, obviously. So today we are gonna, we're gonna spend this whole month kind of helping you set yourself up for success for this new year. We're going to be talking a lot about goals and prioritizing them and vision boards and self-care. It's going to be a really, really fun month of information and fun weekly videos. And today we're going to be talking about the power of habits, right? A lot of resolutions and goal setting. It's all about breaking old habits, maybe unhealthy habits or bad habits, and creating new positive healthy habits. But it's a lot of work breaking habits. So today we're going to dive into that topic. But before we do, I always like to introduce myself for those of you who aren't as familiar with me. My name is Tori Hallowell, and I help young professionals who are feeling burnt out and stuck in their career and just don't know what to do. This was where I was a couple years ago in my previous job. I was just completely stuck and burnt out and lost and confused. And it took me a lot of time, a couple years in fact, to really figure out what it is that I was passionate about, what it is that I wanted to pursue. And so I've actually set out on a mission now to help support, educate, and mentor and really be there for other young professionals who are going through exactly what I went through. So I come at you every week with new educational videos where I share different tips and strategies, hopefully to help you create positive change in your own life. And I've also created a 3-step resource guide. It's called the 3 Steps to Fight Burnout. And so it's really easy to access all of the information and the exercises within that resource guide. I'm going to drop the comment in the comments below. I'm going to drop the link so that you can download this this resource guide and utilize it in your own time. But today, like I said, we're going to be talking about the power of habits. This is something that I'm super excited to dive into with you guys today. In 2017, I read a ton of, self-help books, nonfiction books. I was looking to learn as much as I could. It was like my brain turned back on and it was just a sponge, hungry and ready to soak up all sorts of new information. And one of the best books I read in 2017, it's kind of an old book at this point, but it's called The Power of Habit, and it's by Charles Duhigg. And if you haven't read this book, I highly, highly recommend it. It's really easy to read. It's simple, it's straightforward, it has great examples and personal stories, so you feel connected to Charles, the author, but also to what he's talking about. And it's all about, his work and research in discovering how our brains create habits in our lives and also how we can successfully change those habits. And so I'm not going to go crazy in depth. It is a fairly long book, so I'm not going to go crazy in depth, but I am going to kind of, summarize some of the main takeaways from his book. And hopefully this will help you kind of implement new, purposeful, positive, healthy habits in your life and help you break those habits that might be holding you back or might not be as healthy, okay? And so there's basically a 3-step process to any habit, good or bad. And I actually have a diagram for you to help. It is right here. Hopefully you can see. I'm going to zoom in for a second. You can see that the cue is step 1. The routine, where the mouse is step 2. And then the last step is the reward. And this is called the habit loop. So basically, I think it is about 40% of your day, you think that you're making decisions, but about 40% of your day, you're actually in some sort of habit or routine. Right from the moment you wake up and get out of bed to when you go to sleep at night, about 40% of your day, you are in some sort of routine. So if you kind of keep that in mind, and then also the fact that we're thinking and talking a lot about New Year's resolutions and goals and intentions for the year. So keep in mind that 40% of your day is built around habits you've created and formed over time. And around 93-ish% of people break and give up on their New Year's resolution in January. We know a few weeks in, a few days in even, they're already moved on, done with those goals and those resolutions. So we wanted to kind of take these numbers, merge them, and create a successful 2018 for you. So when we think about this habit loop, basically what happens is that your brain has some sort of cue, some sort of trigger that's activated in your brain when it's craving some sort of reward, when it's craving, some sort of feeling, emotion, or, the results of an action. And so this cue goes off in your brain. You then jump into some sort of action, that's the routine, and then therefore you get the reward that you have been seeking. So, for example, examples are so helpful in times like these. So, for example, say you come home from work, it's been a long day, you've got a lot on your plate, you're burnt out, you're tired, you walk in to your apartment after a long day, and you see the couch, and you see the TV. And all of a sudden that triggers in you, that's the cue, that triggers that, hey, you are really looking to unwind, to relax, to kind of take a break, unplug from reality, maybe dive into your favorite TV show. And so that cue of the couch and the remote and the TV then sets you into motion, into your routine of sitting down, getting cozy, putting that blanket on, turning on your favorite Netflix show. And the reward is that you feel disconnected, that you're unwinding, you're decompressing, you're relaxing after a long day. Okay, so that right there is a habit. That's a habit that's very common for a lot of us, myself included, and that's actually a habit that I'm looking to break, or that I have started to break over the last few months. So many of us in the new year, we have intentions of reading more books, watching less TV, reconnecting with more friends. Maybe you're looking to meditate more, do some more positive reflection. I know a lot of people who really love journaling. I have a couple of friends who are really wanting to get back into writing. But at the end of a long day, you get home and you just kind of fall back into old routines. You don't really implement, that new book that you bought, or you don't pick up that new pen and that new journal and start writing. And so the best way to break old habits is basically you take this habit loop and you just replace the routine. So you still have the same cue and you're still going to have the same rewards. You're just replacing the action part of the habit loop. So for example, when you walk home to your apartment at the end of a long day and you walk in and you have that cue, you see that couch, and you see that TV and that remote, you have that trigger that, hey, you're looking to relax and unwind. That would be a reward. Instead of turning on that TV, let's replace the routine and let's pick up that book. Let's pick up that journal and that pen. Let's turn on our meditation app. You are replacing the action, the routine, with something new. So you still have that cue of the couch and the remote, the TV, that cue is still there. The reward of taking a break, of unwinding, of decompressing, of relaxing is still going to be there. That's going to be the final result. But you're changing the routine from TV, Netflix, binge watching to reading a book, to writing in your journal, to meditating. And that can really help set you up for breaking old habits and creating the new positive, healthy habits you're looking to create. Okay, and so the 4 steps to really, now that you kind of understand the concept, there are 4 key steps to breaking the habit. Number 1 is first determining the routine. So when you're thinking about, going and watching less TV and reading more, that's kind of a simple example. The routine is that you turn the TV on as soon as you get home and you watch it for a couple hours. That is the routine that you're used to. So as soon as you kind of pinpoint the routine, and now you know what you need to focus on to make that change. So first is identify the routine. Second is figure out what's the reward. Why are you in this habit? What do you get out of it? What is the emotion you get? Or, what are you feeling? What are you experiencing? What are you looking forward to? And so once you know the routine and you know the reward of the routine, unwinding, relaxing, no longer worrying or being stressed, no longer feeling anxious, whatever that reward is, now you know that is the reason why you've been watching the TV. That's the reason, right? So first is identify the routine, then figure out why, the reward. What is the benefit of watching the TV? Now that you know these 2 steps, the big one is figuring out the cue. That's the trigger. And this can be a little bit more challenging. You really need to figure out, because it can be something so subtle as just looking at the couch or just seeing the TV or just even walking into your door and putting down your mail and then you just flop on the couch, If you do that, you need to figure out what is that, pinpoint exactly what is that cue. And this can take a little trial and error. It can take a little trial and error to figure out exactly what the reward is and what the cue is. But as soon as you are able to figure out those 2 key steps, it's really easy to replace the routine with something that's more productive and positive. So as soon as you're able to identify the routine and figure out the why, the reward, what you get out of it, then you're able to work your way backwards and pinpoint the trigger, that alert that goes off in your brain that you're ready to jump into whatever that action item is. So once you figured out the 3-step loop of habit, you're able to then replace the routine with your new goal, with your new attention, with your new resolution. You've recreated the habit loop. And the 4th step is just really making a plan, having an intention, figuring out, now that you've pinpointed the changes you need to make, is figuring out, okay, now that I know the cue and now I know the reward, I'm going to be really purposeful, really mindful about implementing that change to the routine. So the 4th step is just putting it into action and being really aware of what it is that you're doing and what it is that you want to get out of changing this habit. Remind yourself, what are the rewards, what are the benefits, what are the positive emotions or feelings or results that I'm going to be getting once I change my routine and my overall habit loop. Okay, so those are the 4 steps. Pinpoint the routine, figure out what the reward is, then identify the trigger, implement a new routine while keeping that cue, that trigger in place and that reward in place, and then have an intention, have a plan ready to go. Now, I mentioned that, on top of the habit loop, there are 2 main skills that are really, really important to master and utilize when you are creating, shifting, and implementing new habits. And the first one is belief. You have to believe in what you're doing. One of the things about New Year's resolutions that kind of gets us sidetracked and kind of makes us get off track or just, give up, a couple days into January is that we don't believe in what we're doing and when we're setting out to create or implement in our life. So the should-bes, the shouldas, couldas, wouldas that people may be implementing on us or society, if you feel like you should be doing this or you should look like this or you wish you could have done this, all of that, that's all negative thought. You're not believing in what's really going to be the positive result for yourself. So the first skill that you really have to master is the belief that you can make this change, that you can create this new habit, and that there's going to be some great beneficial reward that's going to happen as a result. Maybe an emotion you're going to feel, or change to your lifestyle, your body, your routine, whatever it is. You have to have belief in what it is that you're working towards. So that's the first skill. And again, these are skills. These take time to practice and to master. So you really, with belief in particular, you really have to be mindful. You have to have that positive, proactive mindset to really put belief, which is a skill, in practice. And then the second skill after belief that you need to kind of master and utilize is willpower. All right. So willpower, it's all about learning discipline and presuming autonomy for yourself and just kind of, creating a plan in advance so that when you get sidetracked, when things come up that's unexpected, when you just are having a low day, that you have that willpower, you have that determination, you have that plan in place so that you stay on track. So those are 2 skills, belief and willpower, 2 really important skills to just really be aware of, to start to incorporate more of them into your life, to practice them with purpose, to be intentional about them. And once you start to really master those 2 skills and incorporate them into the 4-step cycle of changing habits, for the better, then you'll really be able to make some positive changes for yourself in 2018. And this is a perfect way to take your goals, your intentions, your resolutions for the new year and put them into place and make sure that you're really able to successfully accomplish them and see them through. So I hope that you enjoyed this little mini video about the power of habits. Once again, recommend check out that book. Read it. You will not regret it. There are so many good tidbits of information and exercises that you can implement in your own life. I highly recommend it. And again, this is going to be a month about self-care, intentions, goal setting, prioritizing you. And so I look forward to reconnecting with you again next week. Here on Facebook Live at noon. If this video has resonated with you at all, if it's gotten you excited to tackle 2018 and create some new habits in your own life, then please share this video with friends, with colleagues, with family. Leave me a comment, give me a like, show me some love. We want to start the year off on a positive foot, and I am here to support you and help you on that journey. Like I always say, if you are ready to create some new habits, make some changes in your life, if you're ready to put your resolutions into action, but you still aren't sure how to do so, you're struggling, you're stuck, you feel a little bit lost or confused, please don't struggle alone. Reach out, let's connect, shoot me an email, check out my website, give me a call, send me a text, whatever. I'm here. I would love to connect and help and work with you. So I'm always here, just reach out. And until then, have a wonderful week. Stay warm. Good luck with your New Year's resolutions, and we will touch base again next week. Until then, take care.